Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am Linda Israel, and thank you so very much for coming to my live stream here on YouTube. I greatly appreciate your support and for taking the time to come here and hang out. There are a few things that I want to go over before the actual live started, so this is a recording. First of all, I want to make sure that you like this video and subscribe, so give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate that. When you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell up in the corner. That way you'll get a notification whenever I upload a video. I have a broadcast post or even a live stream. If you're watching this video as a replay and you're on a computer, look for the little gear at the bottom. You can change the speed to speed it up. Or if you're on a mobile device, look for the little three dots and usually you can change the playback speed there. My live streams generally last about 2 hours. They can go as long as 3 hours. It kind of depends on what we're working on that day and how the feedback is in the chat. While you're watching, you earn junk bucks. So if you are here in order to get those junk bucks accumulating, go ahead and type hello in the chat and my little bot, Junkie Joe, will see you and then you'll start accruing junk bucks. And you're wondering, well, what do I do with those junk bucks? Well, you can accumulate those, and once you have 2,000 of them, you can type !award and you can redeem them for a $10 off coupon to my shop. You can earn junk bucks while you're here and when you are chatting, as well as when you play the in-chat game. So look for those as they come up, and if you make a donation. For those of you that make a donation during my live stream, make sure that you go over to my website at lindaisrael.com, and if you haven't already done so, create a user account. When you make a donation during my live stream, basically you're buying a membership to my website and to the live stream. In my opinion, what we're doing is you're accumulating that money in my account. Thank you for that donation. And as a reward, you will get 5% off your orders at lindaisrael.com. And during the live stream, if I have a journal that I'm giving away at the very end, you are eligible to win that journal. Anybody that makes a donation gets into that drawing by manually typing in the raffle at the end, but then you also get the discount membership on my website. Thank you to Robin, who is my administrator during the live stream. She helps me out with answering questions as well as giving information. She is also my administrator over at the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. If you haven't joined that group, please do. We'd love to have you over there. You're welcome to share what you're working on. Speaking of sharing, during the live today, you can speak up in the chat and say, hey, I have a YouTube channel. You will not be able to share your link to your channel, but you can at least say, hey, my name is, and this is what I do. And then your friends that come into the chat can follow each other. Let's keep the chat upbeat, friendly, and helpful. If you will be kind to those that are here. If you have a question, put it in all caps and I'll do my best to answer those. The chat sometimes goes pretty fast, so I don't always see it, so do ask again. And at the same time, if you're in the chat and you know the answer to somebody's question, please speak up and give them the answer. Check the description box for links to products that I share today. Yes, I am an Amazon affiliate, which means I do get a commission on items that you purchase through my link. If you're going to buy something anyway, I greatly appreciate it. It does not cost you any extra. It just gives me a little bit of a commission, which helps me buy products to show you here. If you win one of the raffles, you can start right now by typing !raffle. Do make sure that you go over to my website, and if you haven't already created a user account, that way I will have your contact information so I can send you your prize. I am starting a raffle right now that is for 200 junk bucks, so you can get well on your way to accumulating your junk bucks. Let's have some fun today and let's get started. Thanks everybody for being here. Good. I didn't notice that earlier. Pardon. Hello. Yeah, it's been a while since you popped in. So yeah, yay! I'm so glad for you. I know that you had adopted some children. I think you have your own children, and so I know your house is full of love and laughter and fun. So thanks for stopping by. I know if you have to go, I understand. Hey, Jennifer, welcome. I just talked to you this morning, so it's great. I get to kind of speak to you 2 times today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I just noticed, okay, this camera. Oh, I see. I need to move that one. I have been using my little clips, some of these that Robin gave to me, and I have some information about Robin too. And when I'm done with them, I put them up here, but sometimes I put them too close to my camera. Y'all keep Robin in your prayers. She has gotten a spider bite on the top of her left foot that got infected, and then she had some issues that should not be happening, so she's being ultrasound checked and she's waiting on some results for that. So y'all be thinking about her. Keep her in your prayers. I would greatly appreciate that. I know she would as well. And what else? I talked to Jennifer a little bit. She said she's been kind of feeling wonky back and forth, so you might keep her in your prayers as well. I hope everybody else is doing well, and I appreciate you coming by, stopping, even if you can only be here for just a few minutes, or maybe you're watching this as a replay after the fact. I definitely greatly appreciate it. Please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and then of course, make sure, thank you Margie for your donation. I greatly appreciate you, lady. If you would, leave a comment after this video is watched and let me know what you thought about today. I have to share this. It may be difficult to see, but it's a pen that has been blinged out. And can you see the flamingo? And there's like a little flowers at the top here. I went to a retreat about 2 weeks ago. You're very welcome, Jennifer. And one of the ladies there was selling these. She was selling them way too cheap. $15. There's 650 glass gems on this pen, and I really like it. She even supplied some ink refills, so it's been in my pocket pouch over here. So it's a nice little pen. I like that it's a clicker. So what I've done is I kept it in the little pouch, and I have a, well, I can show you. I have a little, what do you call this? One of these little baggies that you can get from the hobby stores. I think I picked them up years ago. I think the retail price was like $6.99 for it, and I'm sure I got it 50% off. And then I have a Lazy Susan, a spinner thing that I set it on to make it easier to spin around. Well, I've been taking this with me when I go on my little getaway retreat things with my friends. And I thought, well, I'll keep that pen, and then I'll always have a pen. I have refills. I have the pen. It's always going to be there. So I thought I'd share that. Yeah, it takes some patience. She was making them while the rest of us were working on, most of the ladies there were working on scrapbooks, and I was doing junk journal stuff, and I could see her. She was kind of the next table over from me, and I could see what she was doing, and I was just, yeah, caddy, yes, a caddy, but it's soft. It's a soft-sided caddy, and it was really neat to watch her, and I was watching her make these, and I'm like, okay, I have to buy one. I had to get one. What else? I almost forgot to put my nails on. Henry and I worked around the house this weekend. We ended up putting up fancy outdoor lights around all the way around our home. We've been wanting lights that went all the way around for a really long time, but we were like, man, it's so expensive. You know, we kept looking and looking and looking, and I don't know the official title of it, but it was like a prime deal day deal. I don't know. It was something that happened just a couple weeks ago, not even. And Henry ordered Govee lights, and he ordered 4 strands of lights, and he ordered 3 sets of floodlights, and we spent Saturday about 6 hours installing all these lights all over the house. And then you can program them to do different light shows, if you will. But it looks really good. When we put them on bright white and it's dark outside, you can see all the way around my house. I can walk all the way around. I don't have to worry about tripping on anything. It's come in real handy with Hercules, who is sound asleep behind me back there, because he's starting to lose his eyesight. And we would hold a flashlight behind him so he could see in front, and having these lights have helped. You love the Govee? Yeah, they are awesome. They're awesome lights. I'm really happy with them. So he got them. I don't know if he's telling me the whole truth. He says he got them for 40% off on that Amazon deal. So I'm like, okay, whatever, dear. We have them, the money spent, and they're installed. So we're just going to go with it the way that it is, right? Pardon me. I should have taken a Benadryl before I came on. I was doing fine, and then I forgot. Oh, man. I think I just stuck my finger in some paint, and I believe, do I have it on my head? I think I do. I think I have some right here on my head because I touched my face. It's all under my finger. Leave it to Linda to do that, right? It's a good thing I'm going tomorrow to get my hair cut so she can wash the watercolor paint out of my hair. I'll spray underneath here to get it off my nail. They do go on sale quite often, right? So I think he did good. He did good. We like them. We're happy with them. I think that's going to work out really well for us. So last week, I shared messing around with some watercolor. So I had a piece of watercolor cardstock, and I had this image from a friend that had given it to me, and I had this scrap of paper, and I thought, well, I want to make a background that kind of reflects the watercolor effect in the flower. So I shared how I did it, just a technique that I did. So I'm going to put that back in my basket. So as an example, I played around with, I have a whole stack. These are pre-cut watercolor paper cards. Some of them have texture from when they cut them, but I figured they'll work just fine for what we're going to do. And I made a background that kind of matched the color theme of one of Norella's digital images. I even sprayed the back because apparently I cannot watercolor without getting paint everywhere, because as you just saw, I got it in my hair. And I got it on the back of the card. And then I just layered this together. And then I wanted this to be visible when we put it in a journal. And most of the time, if you put it in a pocket, you lose part of that vision of your beautiful creation. So I made a pocket that is just perfect size. And it has a little tab here at the top to pull it out. And it's a clear acetate window. So I'm going to show you how to do this whole process, okay? Bear with me. All right, so I'm just going to grab an image. This is one of Norella's images. I've got a piece of the watercolor paper. I'm just going to grab another piece of paper to put underneath because I'm messy when I do this. So I want to make a little bit of a color background that pulls some of these colors from it. And at the same time, I have one of these tickets that I got from Canvas Corp Brands, the same place I got this. And I've added some distress inks to the edges, so I'm going to lay that here so I can have both. I've got my watercolor paints that apparently I already stuck my finger in, and I'm going to spray them with my spray bottle. This is just one of those distress spray bottles. I picked it up when I saw it on sale for $1.12 a while back at Hobby Lobby. And then I'm spraying in my little palette here. I'm trying to give myself enough room to do all the things. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to put some color on here. And with watercolor, you can do wet on dry or wet on wet. And I'm going to do a little bit of wet on wet. So I've got a pipette and a little bit of some water, H2O. It was a Benadryl bottle that worked out perfectly because it sealed pretty good for me to take it with me when I want to take watercolor on the go. And so I'm just going to kind of add a little bit of water to my card. I'm not really making an in particular design. I can also spray it a little bit. So I'm going to spray it just a smidge. All right. So I've got a little bit of an orange going on here, and I want a little bit because there's some orange in the flowers. So I'm going to pick up some more off my palette and off of the actual paint wells. And I'm going to touch it into a couple of the spots where I put the water, okay? And you should, if you're doing watercolor, you should tape your paper down, but of course, I'm not going to do that. But I am going to put something heavy on it. Let it kind of move around. I'm going to take a little bit of this and put it on my swatch, because that was one of the colors that I used, okay? Clean off my brush, add some water. Okay, so we got that cleaned off. I'm trying to not let this run too much on here. I'm just going to let that set for a moment, and then let's look at what other color should we do. Maybe a little bit of the green, and do we want to pick a purple or the blue? I'm going to pick purple, I think. I need to put a little bit more in my paint well here. So I'm going to grab some here. And then I'm going to kind of go right next to, and it looks like it's going to blend just a little bit. I'm not trying to blend it too much, but I just want a little bit on there. And I'm just going to grab some more of this purple to make my swatch. The ticket is a manila envelope type paper, is how I want to describe it. So it resists a little bit of the watercolor, but it still works good enough for me. All right, I'm going to go ahead, and I want some blue, probably this closer to this color. This one is called Peacock Blue. So I'm going to put some in my well. And then I think I'm going to stop for a moment. I'm going to use my heat tool to try to dry some of this orange a little bit. I also wonder if I should make it a little bit darker. I'm going to see if I got another paintbrush here. So I'm going to pick up some more orange. I'm also trying to dry this water. Oop, I did the wrong way. Pay attention to what you're doing, Linda. Okay, I got a little bit here, and I want just a little bit more on here, and I think I want a little bit more here. And you can already see it making puddles on the back of my card. So when we're done painting the front, I'll spray the back. All right, so I'm going to shift that a little bit. I may even try to mop up some of that water. It's messy. It can be messy. Yeah, swatches on a page are fun. I don't know why. I just like it. Julie had, I don't know if she was in the vehicle when it happened, but she messaged me and said that her car got smashed and she was going to, what did she call it? It wasn't rent, but she was getting another vehicle while hers is being repaired. So I'm like, oh no, I hope she's okay. I hope you weren't injured. She hadn't replied yet. Okay, I'm trying to dry that a little bit. I'm going to grab another paper towel. The one that I mopped up the yellow paint, and pick up this a little bit. And this one. Okay, so now I'm going to take a big paintbrush and put a little bit of water down the side. Pardon me. And then we're going to flood that with that blue. I don't know, there's something about just kind of playing with paint, and we don't really necessarily have a rhyme or reason. We're just creating a background. So this is an opportunity to play and not worry, well, that doesn't look right. Yes, it does. It looks just fine. Don't get so fretted over it, and play. Just enjoy the opportunity to play. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of playing around, adding a little bit. I found that if I wet the paper a little bit with water and then come back with my paintbrush, I like the results better than going wet paintbrush of paint directly to my paper. So you kind of see where I'm doing here, just kind of, all right, come on, don't flash out on me. It's probably because we have too much white. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Okay, so I think I want a little bit of blue over here. So I'm going to pick up some more. And then like this. And let's do right here. For some reason on these cards, I like going ahead and filling the outside border. So I'm just adding a little bit down the page. I'm not worried too much about this area because I am going to place this image with other pieces over it. So it's okay if you don't fill in that center portion. I'm going to clean off, oh, not clean off my brush. I need to do this. All right, so I've got my swatch here. Clean my brush. Okay, and then I'm going to lay my brushes down. I want to get a brush rest. I don't know. I don't know if I want to buy one or if I want to make one. Do y'all use a brush rest? This palette has a little divot, but what I'm finding is when I lay it down, this palette then is too close to where I'm working, and then I bump my brush. So I think if I had a brush rest that I could put over to the side, then that might be better for my brushes. I don't know. I'm going to use my heat tool to kind of dry a little bit of this. All right, I know that I got a little bit on the back, so I think I'm going to spray it maybe with this, I don't know, Curious is one of my favorite colors, so I'm going to spray it with some Curious, shaking it up. So it doesn't look like the back was done accidentally. It looks like it was kind of done on purpose. I could add a little bit of some purple. So just a small There. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. Okay, let's dry that. So how is everybody? Hey, Catherine, welcome. So glad to have you here. Did y'all have a good week? We've been good this week. I had some work to do at the shop this past week that's kept me kind of busy, and then we worked around the house. My greenhouse that I had reconfigured, I guess it was a how do I say this? It was a shed. It was a storage shed, a garden shed, and it desperately needed updating. We needed to either replace the roof or replace the siding or tear the whole thing down. And so I asked my husband if I could just go ahead and tear off all the siding and have it made, I got a piece of hair in my mouth, into a greenhouse. And so he agreed. And so we had some windows. Oh, happy birthday, Austin. So he agreed to let me do that. So I did that. Well, the door that we put on there was a cheapy, like under $200, what I call a screen door. It has glass at the top that the window opens, and it had metal across the bottom. And I hated it. I put it in, I used it this summer, and I hated it. My next door neighbor replaced their French doors off the back of their house, and they had this out front that they were going to get rid of. And I saw it, and so I asked them about it. And said, yeah, you can have it. You can have it. So I asked him if he'd help us bring it over because it was heavy. And he did. And Henry worked on that this weekend, installing it. So I now have a new door. All right, so now what I'm going to do is look for some papers. I think that one might work. I had some book pages that I had pulled out of a book. They were set aside, and I've done a few things. I've painted them. I've used tattered angels on them. I've used distress oxide on them. These here were from using a brayer and cleaning off after doing a gel print. And I just saved all those papers, and I thought they would be perfect for little backgrounds. So I think this is the one I want. And I'm going to turn it this way. And let's trim it. So I'm going to move that over here and get my paper cutter. Oh, to be 30 again. I know. Take good care of your health, Austin. Do it now. Get exercise. Make sure that you keep your weight under control. Do your blood pressure. Because when you get 50-something, you can't get that under control. Hey, Michelle, welcome. It is very difficult. And then you're going to want to do stuff, but you can't do stuff because you're sick. So take care of your body. Do it now. All right, so I kind of did this orangey color. And I think that would look good right there. And then that's my scrap of paper. And then I have this little swatch that we made. I think that looks pretty good there. So the next thing I did on the other was I found a word phrase. I found a butterfly. And I also found a flower. So let me get those out. So here's my words. And here are my flowers, which I need to make some more of, and butterflies. There isn't a butterfly in here. So what color of butterfly? I have one that's not a very pretty color, but we could paint that orange to have that stand out a little bit. Or I have one here that's kind of a blue already. We could use the blue there. So what do you think? Keep it blue or change this one and make it more orange. And then let's look at the flowers. Are they in? They're in this one. Okay. I don't know that I have... Oh, wait. There's a kind of an orangey color that matches this. Should it stay matchy, maybe we keep the blue and then the orange flower here. Glitter! Yeah, don't put off things that require traveling. Either requires physical ability. Do it now. I agree. I agree. I'm very fortunate Henry and I have been cruising, so we've always kind of done those things. Okay, do you want to make this butterfly this color, or should we just use the blue butterfly? Do the things now while you're able. Take the kids with you. Even if it's what you call a cheap vacation where you take a road trip and go a few miles down the road and hang out somewhere. Do it. Okay, well, when you say, Michelle, when you say do that, which that did you want me to do? Because, see, my ADHD has already moved on. I don't know which one you're talking about. Use the blue or make it orange. So, blue. Okay. All right, blue butterfly. I just love it when y'all say, do that. And I'm like, do what? I've moved on. Oh, you took the kids to Greece last night. Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. Yay. Yay for you and the kids. So keep doing those things. All right, so how about when you see a chance, take it. We could put that across the top there. And I know it's probably, I feel like this crazy camera, I'm going to do something here, so pardon me. Is that it? Come on. Come on, computer. Wakey, wakey. All right, I took away my picture, so that's not the right camera. It's this one. And I need to change the settings. I feel like it's too washed out. Oh, well, now it's just going to mock me. It doesn't want to work. I don't know. It's kind of got a peachy orange look to it. Okay. So we got, when you see a chance, take it. I have one that's got a bigger piece of paper. I think that would be a better choice than this really narrow one. Yeah, I think that's better. Just put that back in here. Okay. So I have a sentiment. I have a butterfly. I have a flower. I have a little bit of everything on here. All right. So now I need distress ink to go around the edges of our pieces, and we can layer them all together. But before I glue this one down, I want to use some rubber stamps to alter how this piece looks. So I'm going to lay this all like so. Do this one. I've got my henna rose, and I have the corner rose stamp out. I did another one earlier with the corner rose, so I may do that again because I like the way that looks on the paper after it's been sprayed or altered with whatever color that we have. Okay, I got all those pieces. We're not going to use this one, so I'm going to stick it over there for now. All right, so we got this piece. I'm going to grab a piece of paper here, and let's do the corner roses. Oh, I forgot something. I need to do that too. Okay, so I got the corner roses, and I think I need to add some black ink. Okay, put a little black ink on there. And we're going to do the corner rose stamp, and I'm going to stamp it around the edge of this paper. So if you have book pages by the ton and you've been trying to figure out how to use them, change their color. You can dye them, you can paint them with acrylic paint or Tattered Angels or watercolor paint, whatever works for you. Just change the color and then add some stamping to it. What I forgot to do was to colorize this piece. So I'm going to grab, do I want it, I think a little bit of everything. So I'm going to grab a little bit of water, kind of go across there, and grab some orange and kind of go like that. And then clean my brush. Kind of go in here and pick up some of this blue. Okay, clean my brush. And we use a little bit of purple, so we'll kind of add a little purple on here. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush off again. Put my brush down. I feel like I just got a shard of something in my thumb. What's this going on? I feel like I got a splinter or something. All right, let's use a heat tool and dry this a little bit. I use my paper punch that makes the tabs. If you don't have one, you can just trace one off of something or make one and kind of finagle how it comes together. Okay, I like this. I'm going to turn it over and blot that just a smidge. Okay, good. All right, so now, while I've got my corner rows, I guess now you're going to get up, Hercules? Does that mean you need to go outside? I'm going to go across there, like so. And that'll give it some nice texture when we add it to the top here. I'm going to take Hercules outside if he gets, is he going? You going outside? He's starting to get doggy dementia. It's really sad because he doesn't always know where he is or what he's doing. You want to go out? Want to go outside? I'm going to take him outside, see what he does. All right, come on. Okay. Hercules is outside. See you later, Austin. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, let's do, I'm going to fold this in half. And crease it. And let's add some distress inks to it. Go ahead and do both sides. Okay, I like the way that turned out. Okay, so first I want to layer these two pieces together. Thanks for stopping in. This is another one of Norella's images. I believe I have a link in the description box below if you're interested in those. I know she would greatly appreciate your patronage. I don't see Margie chatting. I wonder if that means she's having computer issues. So thank you, Margie, if you're watching this live and hear me. You are greatly appreciated, lady. So I know that I'm going to have a frame on my pocket, and I want to have this portion a little bit more visible. I don't want to push it all the way to the corner, and I want to still see some of the watercolor effects that I did. So I'm just going to push it up just a smidge and glue that down. Okay. Like so. I've been going through Ziploc bags of papers that I have set aside because I got them out to do a project and didn't use all of the paper. So then I just crammed them in a Ziploc bag and set them to the side. So now I'm like, I need to do something with these things. So I've been going through the bags trying to sort it where it needs to go. And that's how I came up with all these book pages. Some of them are already painted. Some of them are not. And so I was like, okay, well, if I set those aside and use those in this type of a project, I'm using up those scraps because I don't really have a particular place to store them. I am going to go up to the corner on the watercolor piece because it's okay that it cuts off part of that. And I'm going to lay my acrylic block on it. And I think I want the flower, trying to decide which way. Do we want to put it more on the image? I think that looks. Or I think maybe more this way. Yep, I think we're going to go that way. All right, so I'm going to glue down the leaf portion. These are two different stamps that I stamped on watercolor paper. And then I used my watercolors or my watercolor pencils, depending on my mood that day, and colored a whole bunch of them and fussy cut them out. I just got through stamping a bunch of the zinnia. Is it right here? Oh, here they are. I did a whole bunch of those. I'm still got to fussy cut them out. But I like having those handy to put on projects like this. Okay, I got that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put the tab at the top. I should have probably put it underneath. I don't know if it's too late. Let's see. I can squish that up. Squish it up. Squish it up. Bring it up. Lift it up. Quit making up weird words, Linda. All right, so I'm going to kind of position this somewhat in the center. So right about there. All right, so I'm going to press this down. Okay, use my bone folder. I kind of like the contrast when you look at the back and see the little tab. It's not perfectly centered. Don't worry about that. Thank you, Michelle, for the hugs. All right, so let's do, when you see a chance to take it, we'll put that right here. And then I guess we'll add the butterfly right that. I think that'll work. Alrighty, let's put this down right about there. I'm coming this way because, again, I don't want this cut off whenever I make my window pocket. I guess that's what we'll call them, window pocket. Okay. So I'm going to lay that, let's put it right here. Now, I'm not going to put bling on this because I don't want it to hang up in my pocket all the time. That makes a mess, in my opinion. So I guess what I'll do is I may want a background. So first I've got a piece of acetate. So I'm going to trim this acetate to be just slightly, just a smidge, moving my water out of the way so I don't knock it over. Just ever so slightly larger than my journal card so that it doesn't bind up whenever I'm using the pocket. So I'm just kind of doing that, okay? And I have a little bitty strip. I don't know, I may use it. I'm going to set it to the side. And then we're going to go this way. So you can kind of see there's just a smidge past there. And maybe, that may be even more than what I normally do. But on the up and down, I'm just going to do a tiny bit. And I'll save that. Maybe I'll make a different pocket out of that later. All right, so in theory, this should fit over the front of my card with a little bit of space all the way around, okay? So I'm going to set this right here for now. So now I need some kind of paper for my border. And again, I'm trying to use up some of the stuff I already have. On the first example, I just grabbed something. I didn't try to make it match what was in the pocket. So do we want to match what is inside the pocket, or do we want it to be completely different? I don't know. I think a lot of people had something going on because I think Margie's got computer issues and Julie has car problems, so she's working on that. So I'm going to look over here at my papers real fast to see what I have. I have this purple that, here's what I do. I make a border out of that purple so it would kind of come from there. That might look good with that. And I could stamp this to get some neat effect out of it. I think that's what I'm going to go with. All right, so that's what I want for the frame. You don't have anything on? Okay. Now, I want to put a background. I think this would work behind so that when you pull the card out of the pocket, you're going to have this frame, and then you will see this paper behind. So you would pull this out, and then that's what you would see. So I think that'll work. Okay, those are my choices. So first thing I want to do is I want to cut this painted piece of paper to be the same size as the acetate. It can be a little bit smaller because it's going to be recessed behind the acetate. So I created a scrap, I know, but it'll be a good, useful scrap. Put that over there. And then we'll cut this way. You like the purple? Okay, good. Anything going on, silly? Okay, gotcha. You don't have anything going on in your life right now? Just boring old life. All right, got that little bit smaller, and then trim that. So this, technically, when we make our little sandwich, yes. Okay, so now I've got to make my strips to hold my acetate and everything together. And I'm trying to decide, do I stamp it as a whole unit and then cut it up? Because I'm going to need at least 3 strips, maybe 4, in order to accommodate all the way around. So I'm going to stamp it first, and I'll keep that strip. We may use it some other way. And we use the rose, the corner roses. Let's use the henna stamp because it's a little different look. And I already have it out. All right. So I'm going to position this on my paper. I should get a second piece so I can do the whole thing. And then stamp. Kind of doing it in not necessarily in a particular pattern, but just the goal of covering the paper. And it looks so much different whenever you cut up the paper. Kind of pressing it on there. I like doing the stamping like this because I don't have to worry about that it's not perfect. Anybody can do this. And if you drop your stamp, it's okay. You just go on with it. It was part of the look. You can buy them if you want. My acetate pages, this particular, I forgot to put a link, but was just transparent film that you used to use for write-on, but you can save packaging that you may have gotten when you purchase something. You could use a Ziploc bag. It's not as rigid as what I'm using, but if you can look around to see what you have. But I found these, even though it says Staples, I think I got these on Amazon, and I have some others, and I'm trying to use them up because I have too many of them in my stash. And I thought, well, why not do this type of project? If you'd like a link to Amazon, let me know, and I will post one after my live so you can use my affiliate link. I appreciate it if you are ordering something on Amazon anyway. If you use my link, it gives me a little bit of credit. I'm making these 1-inch strips. 1-inch strips. Like so. And I think I'll go ahead and cut 4 strips so I have them. Okay. And 1 more, right? Okay. Just changes the whole look of it once you strip it down to 1-inch pieces. All right, Hercules has not come back in. I have left both doors open, so I'm going to go look to see if he's walking around in the other room. All right, Hercules is back inside. He's looking at his food bowl, and I went by the kitchen and picked up my candy allowance. So I've got some miniature Reese's cups. These things are addictive. I try to be really good and not eat very many of them. So I'm going to be rude and eat one right now. Oh, so I cut these strips, and I want to share a tip with y'all for making sure this whole process works better. I want 1/2 inch of the strip to be visible on the front, and the other half is going to wrap around this piece. So to make sure that I measure correctly, to put those together, I'll lay it on my paper trimmer, and I'm going to draw a line on the back at 1/2 inch. I found this stuff was very helpful when I made the first pocket, because I could adjust if I felt like I needed to have a little bit more on the front or on the back. It was better to have the line because sometimes I wasn't putting the piece of paper down straight. And so by putting the line on there, it gave me a guide to go with. Okay. And I'll make another one of these in a few minutes after we finish this card, so that you can see this whole process again. And definitely, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, so I've got 4 strips that I have marked. And I've got my piece of acetate. And I don't really care the direction of the text. I'm just going to put it down. I found that I like the beacon glue for this. And what I did was I found where the edge was, and I put glue right where the acetate is going to go. It doesn't take a lot. And Jennifer, if you're still here, she's probably busy because I know she was dealing with her dog earlier. I have your jar that you made me. I think I want another one. If you're bored one day. Or maybe that's what we should do, is get together sometime soon. And you and I can sit together and make some jars. Okay, so I've got the first one down. And I'm going to do this differently than I did the first time. So I'm going to trim off the excess paper. So I have this little strip left. I'll leave that there. And this time, when I glue this down, I'm going to go all the way to the edge so this comes out. Because I found if I didn't do that, then I had a problem making my tabs wrap around my pocket back. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. And so from here down, okay, then lay this one on top. Pressing that glue. See, I saw it shift, and because I saw it shift, I can kind of give it a little nudge back where it needs to go. Oh, I slid it right off. Come on. Okay. Don't push too hard on it. You'll make it slide apart. All right, so I'm going to trim this side off even. Okay. Save that strip and maybe use it somewhere else. So I'm going to do the same thing. Lay this down, and we're going to go the whole length of the pocket. Just going to line it up. Okay. Now we'll go this way. And I'm pressing it, but I'm trying not to squish the glue out to the clear portion. I'm rather push it to what's going to fold over to the back. You're still here, Jennifer. Thank you. Don't run away. We should get together and do a jar decorating. I don't have any jars though. I may have to go buy some. We don't do very many jarred food products. I want one. I like this size. I think this is a salsa or a queso, and I like this size. I think I need one about that size again, or a little bit bigger. All right, we got one more. And I'm going to go edge to edge so it covers the whole thing. And these aren't long enough to use, but we can use them somewhere else. And it creates those scraps that kind of could be used for a collaged background or a Franken-page type background using all those strips. I have lots of videos that show, hey, you're still here, too tired to type? Okay, well, we missed chatting with you. We'll keep you on our thoughts and prayers, Margie. Jennifer, I am so sorry. I have your journal. Where did I put it? I put it by my bag to take to the shop because that's where I do all my mailing, and I haven't gotten it to the shop yet. I saw it this weekend, so I think it's still with my bag so I can take it. Salsa jar. Okay, cost. Gotcha. Ah, okay. Cool, cool, cool. All right, trim the last one. And I'll look at it and decide. I already put my tab onto my pocket, so I want this to be a pull out the top. So since I know that, I am going to take this piece and fold it to where it matches so you don't see it to the front. One thing I did forget to do is I didn't distress the edges, so if you like that look, you may want to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to take this piece. It's going to be closed over that edge. So don't worry about your acetate sticking out. It's going to be covered. So I'm just putting a little glue there. I'm pressing that over. I made sure to leave a little bit of the book page visible when I folded it. And that makes sure that when you look from the front, you don't see the book page peering through the back. Oh, Michelle won a journal a couple of months ago, and I was waiting for her address, and I got her address because she ordered some digitals from me, and I haven't made it to the shop with the journal so I could put it in the mail. All right, so I'm just kind of cutting a little bit of those corners off. I'm going to cut this one just a smidge. All right, so I cut those pieces. I have this piece that's going to go inside here. Now, do we want that background to remain just the text that you see, or should we stamp something on top of that? And I'm thinking I may need to trim it just a smidge. Yeah, I got to trim it just a smidge. I'm thinking of getting out one of my bigger stamps and stamping it in the middle. Trim off some. Let's see if that does what I need it to do. From left to right, yes. Top to bottom. All right, so it's not sticking out the top here. Okay. I have a little sliver. Go away. Maybe the, oh, you know what? I changed mine. I thought I was going to do a flower. I'm going to do the peacock. Let's do the peacock. Okay. Thank you. Well, we're praying for you, Margie. I hope you feel better soon. We miss your wit. All right. So I'm thinking of stamping the peacock kind of up a little bit. So if we go to the edge of this like that. Yeah, I think that would be kind of good right there in the middle. And then when we put the card in, it covers it up. And then when you take it out, you get to see the peacock. Ba, ba, ba. All right. And I like to stand up when I do a large stamp So I'm going to ink it and then stand up and press it on my page. I think my ink pad is getting a little dry. I tried to re-ink it. Oh, that looks better. All right, so I want to come up just a smidge. I think we'll go in the center and press that down. You get a close-up of my blonde hair. Oh, that looks good. Yeah? See, my pile is starting to build over here to the side. Because it is the distress, or not distress, the archival ink, sometimes it stays wet a little longer because I am stamping on top of a painted paper. So I'm going to use my heat tool to dry that image. I like it. I like it a lot. And so this is the same peacock that Jennifer used on the jar. Isn't that cool? Okay. So now if I lay this inside here, get it centered, then we'll be able to glue that together. I'm going to see if there's any spots I need to clean on the acetate. Okay, that's on the front. I think that's glue. I'm going to wipe the inside before I glue it together. Okay, so this is going to be the bottom. We are in the center. So I'm just going to use my Aleene's tacky glue and put it on these tabs to make my pocket. Okay. Let's press it into place. Okay. Make sure I don't have it too. Go ahead and go all the way around while I'm at it. Smash it into place. So this portion will be glued directly onto my page, and when that happens, then this card will be able to slide, if I did it right down in, and then you have the nice little frame around the card. What do you think of that? I got glue on me. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I like being able to see the flower here. And I don't think it needs any other embellishment on the front unless it's something you enjoy. You can go ahead and do it. You could put lace instead of doing the paper by itself. You could put plain paper on it and then glue lace on top, and that would be really pretty too. All right, I'm going to put that in my bucket. I started some earlier, so that'll kind of save some time. I made the swatch because I remembered to do that, and I found a butterfly that I thought would go, and I found a flower that I thought would go. I stamped the back here, but what I forgot to do was to make a pull tab. So I'm going to grab my painty papers and using my little swatch here. So I had a pink, a purple, and a teal. Can you see that? Let me get that where you can. So I'm going to wet my piece once and then get my paintbrush. I think it was this pink. That looks close enough. So I'll add a little bit of pink on here. Okay. Clean my brush. And then I need a little bit of purple. I'll just put a little purple because that would be a natural progression into the blue, right? I should have just enough here. I'll put a little smotch of blue here and then over here. This is a fun way if you want to make some embellishments ahead of time, but you're not real sure what color. You could stamp, punch, whatever shape it is that you like, and then have them cut out, ready to go, and then lay them to the side, and then change their color, paint them. Paint it whatever color you feel matches what you're working on. I think this is a good, pretty close match. It's not perfect, but it looks good. All right, did my chat just go bonkers? I did. I was like, I'm not seeing all the texts, all the messages. Okay, got this piece. Put that up here for now. And I'll fold it. And let's add some distress inks. Oh wait, yeah, I gotta stamp it. I forgot. I was gonna stamp on it. Okay. So let's use the rose stamp. Is that what I did last time? I think so. I think we'll do the rose on this one. And then stamp. And it just changes the whole look of that. Okay. So this is going to go in the center, which should be 1, 2, 3 right here. So put some glue on here and glue it down. Where'd everybody go? It's okay. I understand. Sometimes people have to go. Maybe we'll do a shorter session today. I can make the pocket for this. I have one more card that I have started. So if you would like for me to just do one more, let me know. Or I can stay until 6 o'clock. All right, just going to smooth that out. All right, did I lose anything? No. Yay, they're all still here. Glued the image to the book page that one was, I don't know, I think that was sprayed with Tattered Angels. Some of the, I'll show you in a moment. Some of these I did Distress Oxide ink. And because Distress Oxide is reactive to water, I got one of the Tattered Angels in a color that kind of blended. That's what I did here on this purple. And it gave it a nice little mottled, 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 M-O-T-L-E-D, mottled, is that how you spelled it? Look to it, not just one consistent drop of color. And I know I'm old hat, same pony trick. I want to glue this down up here, kind of in just a little bit. There we go. I want to make sure that I glue this up just a smidge so it doesn't get cut off in my window that I've got to make. All right, we'll put that right here. This one has a little softer look, the way it blends out. I don't know. I thought this was a clever idea. I hope you like what I've put together here. Trying to show you other ways to use those scraps and watercolors if you have them. And maybe you've got some that you've had in the closet for a while, or the drawer, or wherever you have them stored, and you're like, I need to get those out and do something with it. And even though I'm not ideally using the correct paper, they say watercolor paper is the best. This manila type paper works pretty good. Book pages seem to take the color pretty good. I'm liking it. I hope y'all are too. All right, so I think I want to do the pink flower here, like that. I have a tendency, if y'all haven't noticed yet, that I like to make multiple style, maybe this multiple of the same style. So maybe I have like 3 or 4 different colorways or something like that, so that I can add them to my journals to give that more eclectic feel. You know, I could also take a whole session and do only black and white or mostly white like we've done here in the past. So don't feel like you have to make multiples in one session. You don't have to make them similar in style. Use the ideas to launch, hey, well, I have this thing, and this thing, using that same concept of using the layers. How could I make my own look out of that? I like it. I think that turned out pretty. I wish y'all could see the colors. I don't know if I probably should get my iPad and look at the colors, because my television that I have is really old in my craft room, and it could be that it's because it's a television, it doesn't give me a very good visual representation of the color. All right, I need to clean my hands. Let me see. Oh, I need to put my new what do you call this? Hand sanitizer. I use that a lot to clean my hands too. All right, so I need another transparency film. I'm trying to get one. Okay, I got one. So I need one of those. And then out of our papers, I don't know if that's big enough. It's not quite big enough. Okay. I do have this blue. That would make a pretty window if I have enough to make the strips to go all the way around. I need at least 4 inches. That's less than 4. Oh, I don't want to be completely matchy, but oh, I like this pink. Maybe this could be my pocket background, so that when it gets pulled out of the pocket, I think that would be a good color. I still like this color for the frame, since we used purple. So let's make one. That might be just as easy to do. I'm going to put on some gloves, and I'll kind of show how I started this one. And maybe we'll make it a little bit darker blue, since that's more of a blue, where the other's more teal. All right, so I know I want these 2 pieces. So I'm going to lay this over here for a moment. And I'm going to get a book page out of my stash. I've been laying the extra book pages in my drawer that I have right behind me to help with organizing a lot better. Okay, that'll work. All right, so I think we want blueprint sketch, and then let's see if I have a blue Tattered Angels already over here. This one is Positive Vibes. It might be the right color. We'll try it and see how that works. All right, shake it up. I may have poured a different one in there because that looks a different color. All right, so we're going to do blueprint sketch, and I'm just going to rub it over my book page. I'm not worried about it not being a perfect coverage. I just want a little bit of color. Oops, turn it around so I can get it. This is a little bit lighter than what I may have thought I was getting. I don't want to mix another pad over the top of that. So I think I'll look to see if I have a darker blue. And of course, oh, that might work. That might work. Okay. I'm going to spray this one first to see how it looks. It just has some shimmer in it. It doesn't really look like it's changing a lot. So I'm going to take this dark one and hopefully this sprayer works. If not, I'll grab one. I went through all my bottles that were empty. I saved them and cleaned them a little bit. I feel like it needs maybe a little bit of water. And then I took them all apart and washed them. And I threw away most of the bottles. I just kept the sprayers that worked. So now I have a Ziploc bag. I have to show y'all. This whole bag is of used sprayers. So if one goes bad, I just reach in there and grab one. It's so much more handy to have. All right, I'm just kind of playing around with the texture, and I'm going to use my heat tool to dry it. I think that works color-wise, doesn't it? It's just a little bit darker. It'll dry a little bit lighter than what it is. Okay, try to get it dry, dry, dry. I could mop up some of it, so I'm trying not to take away too much of the color. Okay. Throw this away. Get something to drink, right? I like, hey, and this may work if I have enough to do the other card. So I could go ahead and have this piece ready for the other card that I made earlier, started. I just got to get it to dry. You know, it's no fun watching paint dry. All right, so I'm putting away my pieces. What image should I put behind? Should we do a flower? I think maybe a flower. I'm going to put the peacock away while I'm waiting for this to draw. Put that in here. So there we go. It's getting there. Let me look around and see what other stamp while we're waiting on that to dry a little bit. Oh, I could do maybe the cone flower. I don't know. This is kind of dark. Oh, I'm going to leave those out. I think that's what I want to do, is leave these out. And maybe do the cone flower on here. Oh, not on here. On this one. That's what I was trying to say. I couldn't get my words out. Okay. I like the way the henna rose looked on the last one. So we'll do the henna rose again. Okay. So we'll just stamp this randomly, and then I'll have enough to make two. So I'll go ahead and cut them down into 1-inch strips all the way till I have 8, which should be exactly what I'll have with a sliver left over. And I think that will work. I like it. I like making my own papers. I don't know why. It just, there's something satisfying about pulling out paper and color and marking tools of some kind, whether it be a stencil or stamp or an object you found, and changing the look of the paper. Or fabric. I guess you could do that too, yeah. All right, let's go up here. I see a spot that needs a little bit more. And maybe here. Okay. Take my gloves off now. Put those away. Get rid of this up there. All right, so now I'm just going to cut this into strips. Does this look like a pretty simple project once I break it all down? Maybe you might have a problem with acetate. Another thing you could do is maybe you have some sheet protectors or album page protectors that you use for photo albums, but maybe you don't use that style anymore. Maybe you had some sheet protectors in a notebook that was holding some in my case, I had an old manual from Toastmasters that I cut up here recently to use all the pieces out of it. So just kind of be creative and looking around. You could tell your friends that live near you to save a few things. And then that way you could have access to it. But do note that you have to tell them to stop saving you things when you have enough, because they will keep bringing it to you. And then you have an abundance. All right, got it. So now I'm going to flip this over and use my pencil that I put back. I did. Good job. And make my lines. I think that just makes it so much easier. Okay. I kind of like how this turned out, and I know that by the time I'm done here, I'll made 4. So those would be a good addition to the rest of the things that I have, and gives me a different decoration, different journal card opportunity in a journal that there's only going to be 4 at this session. You know, my next session, I will probably do them completely different. That's what I like about this stuff, is kind of using the same supplies and making something different. But when you're done, it blends really well together because you used supplies to make multiple things many times. If you had enough of a scrap left over or whatever. It's kind of like I'm using the same strip, but I'm going to use it for pockets for 2 different journal cards. Okay, last one. Okay. Like so. Okay, put this away, and the next thing I need to do is cut the acetate in my back of the pocket. So I'm just going to use a blank card as my template. It needs to be, let me see if I got this right. Yeah, it needs to go this way so I can get 2 of them. So this has to be just in over 5 inches. So maybe 5 and a, what is that? What's half of a quarter? An eighth? It's an eighth, right? So 5 and an eighth. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 of them so it will be cut already. And like I said, I'll save the pieces in case there's somewhere else I can use them. And then it needs to be approximately 6, and let's do a 6 and an 8 tall. So it'll be just a little bit bigger than the journal card. And I have a couple more pieces there. All right, so while I'm at it, I have my painted book page here that I want to use in the background. So it won't go this way, will it? No, it's too short. I need it to be a little bit shorter, but I don't want it to be super short. So I'm going to line it up as best I can and then cut off just a smidge so it's shorter. Save the pieces. I'm trying to be really good about putting the pieces back in my basket so they're not just laying on my desk and I'm like, oh, this is in my way, I can't function. All right, so we need this to be right at 5 inches. Okay, put that over there. We've got our backer piece and our acetate and our strips. On the backer piece, I think what I want to do, I'm trying to get it to curl the other way, rubbing it over the edge. Okay, there. I think what I want to do is stamp. I know that these are kind of daisy-like, or Cosmos. I can't remember the other one that's kind of that same name, Coreopus. But I'm going to do the cone flower. And I think I'm going to put it just right in the middle. Yeah, right in the middle. Dead center. I think, Jennifer, you would tell me if I am blanked out on the live here, right? Because I don't see y'all chatting. All right, so I'm going to put that somewhat in the middle and press it into place. Yeah, there we go. I like it. Put that back over there. Let's hit it with the heat tool. Set that ink. And get a drink. I like it. Okay, we got that piece. This time I want to do the edges, so I'm going to do one edge. That's the edge that's going to go towards the inside of my pocket. Go ahead and do the next couple. I'm going to see something. I can't remember if I can, do I have 4? No, I didn't do 4. I thought I did 4. I might be able to get away with trying another technique of doing the edges. So if I were to cut this in half, would that fit edge to edge? It would. Okay, so I'm going to try something different. All right, this is my edge that I put the distress ink on. I'm going to do one side, cut it off, and do the other side even. And then the sides, they'll be long, and that should work correctly for my pocket tabs. We're going to see if I did it right, if I'm thinking correctly. All right, so I'm going to lay that in the glue right up to the edge. And then I'll use my paper trimmer to trim this piece off. Okay. Now I'll put that on the opposite end, same way. I need to match it up to the, so I don't put too much glue past it. Okay. So I'm going to lay that in the glue. Now I'm going to cut off this excess. Yes, I think this works. And then we're going to lay this here. And we're going to go down the edge. Trying to put enough glue for this all to stick together. What else has been going on? I'm trying to think of the... Oh, Henry and I are going to be going on a cruise in November. So we're looking forward to that. There's a new cruise ship coming to Galveston, Texas. It's not a new ship age-wise to the fleet, but it will be new to the Galveston port. And we're going on the first cruise that they have out of Galveston. So we're kind of looking forward to that. I think it'll be a fun vacation. And we've got some internet friends that we're going to meet for the first time in person. And then we have our dog sitter is actually going on the cruise with us. So I've had to leave it up to the God to say how we're going to take care of this dog. And we found out night before last that our dog sitter, her dog that they have is going to be taken care of by somebody locally while they go out of town, and they have agreed to also take care of Hercules. So I was glad, because then Hercules will know that other dog, because he's gone over there to their house. Although it will be in a different house, but hopefully maybe he'll feel more comfortable because he'll know that other dog. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. All right, so we went all the way around, and I think I just saw a little sliver that I need to, there we go. All right, so it shouldn't really matter. I think that the text is in different directions. So I'm just going to pick one of the edges and fold that over. And I will glue this one down with the beacon glue. I think this works better than what I did the very first time. If you're trying to conserve paper, you get a few more pieces out of it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fold that over. And I just realized I forgot to make sure that edge didn't match. Oh, well. Maybe we'll put something over that and fix it. I'll add some trim. Okay. Can't believe it. I was talking too much and I didn't pay attention. Just kind of trim that a little bit. Okay. Get rid of the pieces. All right. This is the up. So this is going to go here. Make sure that it all works. I gotta fix that portion. Dang. Okay. Well, I think I have something here. I saw. Maybe I can just add some trim right over it, and so you won't see it. I am going to push this up just a smidge. Okay. And then glue here. Okay. Go around the perimeter. Okay. Yay! Okay, I got the outside piece put on there, so I need to cover up my flaw. It's an opportunity. So what could I do? Oh, I could add a whole row of bling. I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to add a whole row. So we're going to lift it off. Oh, come here. Don't stick to my fingers. And try to center it. See, I did that on purpose. Yay! I like it because then when it's empty, that's what it looks like with the flower and the bling. And then when we put the card down inside, that's what it looks like. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. There's another one made. Look at my fingers. They're filthy. All right, so let's do one more. I think I have the supplies here. It should go just as quick as that one did because we already have some of the pieces. We have our acetate. We have our strips. I have a card. And I think what I want to do is put the card together and then we'll look to see what I have that we can use for, oh, I want to stamp on that for the background of the pocket, right? I think that's what I'm going to call it, the background of the pocket. So let's stamp the rose around the edge because, you know, we got to be consistent, right? Trying to add some variety to how this looks. Okay. What I haven't done is I did not make a tab. So we're going to make a tab. Grab one of these while I've got this paper here. And add a little bit of paint across. And I need some green. So that would be this green. And it might be that one. I know it needs some yellow. I'm putting some water on my palette and where the paint palette is so that I can reconstitute it. Now I gotta find my paintbrush that I like the most. Nope, that's not it. See, oh, there it is. It's like, what did I do? All right, let's make sure this doesn't have too much in it. All right, so I'm going to grab, I guess I'll grab a little bit of the green. Just a little, and kind of go across the middle. And then clean that off. And I want some yellow, so I'm going to grab some yellow. And just kind of do this other edge. It's okay if it blends in together a little bit, right? Clean my brush. And I think it might be a combination of this and this. Let's see. I think this will be a better green. I don't know. We'll see. I may need to add a little bit of blue. I think that'll work. Just adding a little more blue. Yeah. There. All right. Clean the brush. Clean the brush. lay the brush where I can find it later. Let's dry our little page tab. I like making these, they're fun. Okay. Come on, dry, 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 dry. Okay. I'm going to give that just a moment more to dry while I work on some of these components here. I can go ahead and glue these together while I'm waiting on that to dry a little bit more. I had this yellow in my Tattered Angels, and I thought, I think that would look really good behind this one. All right, and let's go ahead. This is my card that I made. So it's got a little bit of the yellow and the teal and the blue. Green, I mean. So let's glue that there. And then we'll stamp our tab. And I'll glue that in place after I do the Distress ink on it. Like so. Okay. I like it. So now I'm going to take this piece, which feels pretty dry now, and yeah, we'll do the same. Did I use the rose? Yes, I did use the rose. Use that. Give it a different texture. Now distressing. After we fold it on itself. Still a little damp, so I got to be careful and not tear it. Okay. I like this little watercolor tabs. I think I could just sit and make a bunch of those just for the fun of it. That's it too, you know. Sometimes we make things because we enjoy them. It may not have an actual purpose, and that's okay. All right, so I'm going to add some glue here. Oh, stay there. So I'll try to get that somewhat straight. And smush it into place gently. Okay. And then, do we want the blue at the top? I think I want the blue at the bottom because we're going to put the flower down here. And I need to find a butterfly that goes. There's one little flower, because it's in the shadow, it's kind of purple. So maybe we should find a purple butterfly. And I may have one. Oh, I don't see it. I don't see it here. So kind of go up to the top here. Smush that down. All right, we'll do Expect Great Things right here. All right, put that here. I like it. And then, oh, not that way. This way. Yeah, I keep going to that same look. So I guess it's one I like. Woo! I dropped it. To clean up the glue. Smash! All right, so we need a butterfly. I was thinking purple. Just because it would pop out differently. Or we can go with this blue color. They're over here. Have this batch and this batch. So let's see what we have in here. I kind of have a purple pink one. That might look good there. I have a really large blue one that we could put down. I don't know. I kind of like the smaller size a little better. I have a pink one that we could alter the color. Did I just see a purple one? No, that's just another pink one. I'm gonna look in this bundle. Sometimes I have different ones because I made them in different sessions. And so because I did, they're different colorways. Now this one might be interesting. I think that's the one I'm going to go with because it's kind of a it's got the black, it's got the teal, and it's got a little bit of purple in it. And you may not be able to see that, but I think that looks good and gives a little bit of this reminiscent color without being exactly the same as the others. All right, so we got the butterfly. So let's glue that down. Now we just need to make the pocket, and we'll have 4 sets made. Okay, set that over there. And I got this piece, 1, 2, 3. I think one of these already has distress inks on it, so hopefully I just have 2 that I need to do. Okay, and I think this is the edge I've already got done, so we're going to do this one. Okay, got a couple strips left over. I can use somewhere else. So I'm going to start here. This is my side I need, and I want to go across the top and the bottom first. Okay. Put this right here. All right, so let's trim that off and flip it and do it on the other end. I haven't picked a piece of paper for the background yet, so we'll have to see what I have in my stash. Okay, I need this side that we can use that would go with this card. More of a yellow might be good. Okay. We're trying to be really careful and not smear because that made them slide apart. I don't want to have to try to put it back together again. Okay. Little bitty scrap. It's stuck to my fingers. Come on, get off. There, I got it. So now I need this one. So we go down the edge. Okay. We're getting there. Last parts of this card and pocket combo. Did you like today's session? Did it give you some inspiration to come up with some of your own ideas? All right, so I'm going to flip this around. Maybe you saw something that was like, you know what? If I take a little bit of what Linda shared and put my own spin on it, I can do this, whatever that could be. I'd love to see what you come up with. Share on my Facebook page or in the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. Whatever it is that you're working on. Okay. So now, look at there. I can cut the thing off at the same time. That was my thinking. And I'm going to make that my top. So just to help, I'm going to trim a little bit of that cross piece at the top. So when I fold it over, it's just a little bit shorter. So it should not come past, and it does not. So I didn't have to fret as much on getting that portion down. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and glue it. If I get the lid off. And then that way I know that's the top. It's all been ready to go. All right, so I need something to go with the background. And I thought I saw, this is kind of pretty for a background. This looks like maybe I used some Tattered Angels, or I used some of the, what were those? They were a powder. And you sprinkled the powder and then you add water to it. And that's the effect you get. I cannot remember the name of them for the life of me. So I'm kind of thinking that would be a good background for this. I'm going to go ahead and fold this. And fold this. And fold this. And then trim the corners. And then trim that one just a smidge. So if I make this a little bit narrower to fit, right? Because I don't know that this is tall enough. Let's see. Well, I could make that work. Okay. I could. Because it can be a little bit shorter and a little bit narrower than the outside of the pocket. Oh, my nose. Itchy, itchy, itchy. I have a different stamp I think I'm going to use. And this one is the flax. All right, so let's move that out. And I'm going to go this way, make this the bottom. And we're going to stamp the flower right in the middle. Right in the middle. Okay, that looks good. Put that away, put that over there. All right, so now I just need to put this inside of here and glue the tabs. It goes faster once you get the hang of it. I don't know if you could see how much faster it was, and especially if you make more than one of the same color frame like I did, and you have a large enough piece of paper. You could also use scrapbook paper. You could use digital papers or other like gel prints. I was just trying to use some of the book pages I have. I like it. And then this goes in the pocket like so. Let me close up my stuff, put it out of the way. Put this over here. All right, let's get them out again. So we made these today. And then this is the one I made as my example here. So I'll pull this out of the pocket so you can kind of see. Well, I guess I could give you a moment. A moment to admire. I can scooch it up just a little bit so you can see it better. All right, so then this one, the background was the flocks and the color burst. That's what they were called, color burst in water. And then this one was a painted book page that I probably was cleaning off my brayer and made. And I messed up, so I added the bling. I think that looks pretty good. And then I like the orange and the purple in there, and then the blue over here. I didn't use a lot of purple here. It didn't translate a lot onto the card, but I think it works out pretty good. The peacock on the inside. And I don't think I stamped this one. I did not. But what I could do is maybe stamp an image and then just kind of gently glue it on here. Maybe I could do it with some tissue paper. I may have to try that. But I like how they turned out. I hope you enjoyed today's session. That maybe it gives you some inspiration. I am going to do a giveaway here, and we're going to give away 200 junk bucks. So I'll get you to sign in. So we'll, I don't know, do you want another session similar to this? Let me know. I like how this turned out. I was inspired, and so I got busy, and it just gave me ideas what to use of the things that I already have. And so with the same concepts, I have other ideas I'm thinking about doing. So I may do a different session next week using some of the same little images. I may pick some different ones so that maybe the color palette changes a little bit and how I decorate it. Maybe it'll be different. Maybe I won't do the swatches. I don't know. But I may do the color palette change because there's more of a fall color one. Okay. Let's pick a winner. And Daisies and Grace. Thank you, Bonnie, for being here today. So let me go find you. Daisies. D-A-I-S-E. Is that right? Daisies. I'm not spelling daisies correctly. D-A-I-S. D-A-I. D-A-I-S-I. Come on. There we go. Found you. Add. So you've got 200 more junk bucks. Thank you so much for being here today. Again, thank you everybody for stopping by and watching. I hope that, I don't know, it gives you some inspiration. Oh, I see another one that I want to try, I think. Of, you know, pulling out some of the things, supplies that you may already have. See, I think that would be a good colorway. Maybe that's what we'll do next week. So we're getting away from these teal colors. See if I can find one more. Maybe that, I don't know, that's more spring looking. Anyhow, squirrel. I'm looking through all my images to see if I can find something else that would look good. Ooh, this yellow would be good. Okay, maybe I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change it up a little bit, and next week we'll do a little bit more fall type colors using these images I've got over here. So there's a preview. I'm going to use these images and make something similar in concept here. I'm so glad. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm glad you like it. You forgot which account you had? That's what happens, Bonnie. That's what happens. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, thank you, Margie, for being here. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're very welcome. Need to focus on what you have. Well, that's just hard. You got to pull it out and start doing stuff with what you have. So I hope you enjoyed this, everybody. Thank you so very much. Do something kind for somebody else out there. You never know what someone's going through. You know, send a text message to someone you haven't talked to in a while, or Facebook Messenger, or mail a postcard to them, whatever it may be. Pick up the phone and call them. Let them know you're thinking of them. And then, you know, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. If you're in the car and someone cut you off, don't get mad at them. Instead, pray for them. There's a reason they're going through whatever they're going through. They may just need a little guiding hand from God. So maybe you're put there to pray for them, you know? And let's see. Have fun. Do something creative this week. I want to see what you create and share it with me on the Facebook page or on YouTube here. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Lots of love to each and every one of you. We'll see you next week, and we'll do some more creative things with paper, paint, and whatnot. Bye, everybody.